I'm Simo Belà, and this is my life. You have to dance with the tools. You put the music on, and you dancing with the tools around the form. Your soul find identity when you get sucked into this creative tunnel where you ignore the entire universe. Of course, you're going through boring time periods when you're creating, but you're getting closer towards that candlelight. What's way back there? And that candlelight gets bigger, the fire gets bigger. By the time you get there, you see a bonfire, and you feel the energy. And imagination is endless. To be able to say that, I needed a lifetime experience. Look at my hands. In the very beginning, art was not in my agenda. I was born, first of all, in Transylvania, which is on the other side of this planet. I could say I have a wonderful childhood, ultimate freedom. Most of the time I spent on the street or in my father's lab. He was a scientist, so I learned quite a lot from him. After the high school, I had to go to the army, like anybody else in that system, because the society was like under the dictatorship. So in 1985, I had to leave the country. So I end up in Austria. And over there, I bump into this person who is an artist. So with this person, who is Herr Josef Felter, we had an agreement. He's gonna teach me art, and I'm gonna pay back with my work, with my hands. So with my hand, I believe we accomplished more than what he imagined. We're talking about here like 5.5 meter marble sculptures, of course wooden sculptures too, so it was quite fascinating. As an artist, my foundation comes from my maestro, who is physically dead, but he's alive. I'm continuing his work further, differently, because I put my individuality into my creations. But it takes time, my decades, until, yes, this is who I am. I follow myself. So after that, I started my journey in this continent. I spent a year in Toronto, 18 years in Yukon, 5 years in Newfoundland, and a few years in Ottawa. Now I'm here. I was fortunate in Yukon because it's just everything happened like a chain reaction. So one public art after other. So yes, I should say I was fortunate. It's two ways to do artwork. First, you have a subject, like let's say a commission work, and based on that subject you build up a form. You have to consider the space where the work gonna be displayed. In this idea I have to consider the medium which I'm using, the tools towards that, but through the process, I give myself that flexibility to go this way or that way, because challenging myself, first of all, I have to like that creation. So is the other side, other way to do artwork. The other side, when you expressing your feelings and through your artwork, creation, you do something which reflects that feeling. And when the viewer see that form and feel what you felt, I believe that's the ultimate reward. The story behind these pieces goes back, way back to Yukon territory. Was a time period when it just happened that in November I left, I was dropped off around the Arctic Circle in an exploration camp. And that environment allowed me to simplify life form. And I was so proud of my creation. When I showed these pieces as a set, as a series, people did not appreciate it as much I expected. And I asked that question, why? Because these pieces was born in an unusual environment. People was not able to connect to that form. But anyway, after that, I just researching myself, so I created, I believe was my masterpiece for bronze casting, my own artist DNA. When I moved here to Val-de-Monde, I built a studio, and right after that I get a big commission from a Yukon Workers' Compensation, like 19 feet tall. I've never worked before with aluminium, so that was the beginning. After when that piece was done, I had a lot of leftover, so okay, let's make smaller pieces, only 12 feet high, or abstract, stylized, something what I could imagine somebody's backyard. The aluminum is soft, obeys, doesn't oxidize. It's like butter in your hand. In the same time, always surfacing something like this, which is, when you do it, you feel the goosebumps. And we want to create this kind of feelings as often as possible. And when the piece is done, the journey, doing it, and material is obeyed, the form is there, composition is there, and that's the magical part. When the piece is done, you reach the climax, magic is over. So that piece is behind. So, new ideas. Art is not a science. People, what they want to see, consistency in our work. But I'm doing work for myself. Okay, if we don't sell our artwork, we're looking at an empty bowl for supper. This is a harsh reality. We always cross our fingers that the proposal gonna be accepted. And yeah, let's go. Let's go to the grocery store. That's how do we celebrate. Was time periods when I felt that, okay, I don't want to do art anymore. I realized it doesn't matter how fast I'm running away from art. It always was ahead of me, so I gave up running. So right now where I'm going, how that work, my creation, speak to everyday people. So I kind of compromise the modern on the realism, meet halfway. I like to work with human figures. So for example, what's the face, the head, the hands. So focus on that, bring that out dramatically based on what you want to express. The rest is not important, less is more. So I'm going to that direction. I'm gonna build up the rest of the body with the abstract form. And in the bottom, I'm gonna surface a question, pourquoi? So the whole soul of this body comes towards you and asking you that question. That's what I would love to achieve. When I was a little child, my mom told me, "My son, you're never gonna grow up." I hope she's right.